So I struggled with my handstand push-up for years until I learned these 3 tips in technique and the 3 progressions that I use to break down the handstand push-up to actually progress towards it. Here they are. Okay, so the first tip is all about shoulder position. And so what I see a lot is people touching their chin to the floor first in a pike push-up. It looks like this, and people are doing this. Okay? Instead, what you want to do is round your shoulders and elevate your shoulders like we're here, and focus on touching your forehead to the floor when you're doing a pike push-up. So it looks like this. I'm in this position. I round my shoulders. You see that position there? I'm here, and now when I come down, I get that lift from my hips. Eventually, you start to feel that weightlessness in the shoulders. The second tip is getting your hips over your shoulders. Again, it's the same thing. If I'm doing a pike push-up and I'm like this, I'm never gonna get that lift. However, if I have my hips over my shoulders, now is where I actually get the lift for the pike push-up. The third tip is being in your fingertips. Now, when you're doing a handstand, you want the tips of your fingertips to go white like this. You don't want to be like that. You want to be crimping in like that. You see how they turn white in that position. And so when I'm in a handstand push-up or a pike push-up, I don't want to be in my palms going back like this. I want to be leaning onto my tippy fingers to get that progression and that weight going forwards. Cool, so we went through those 3 tips. Rounding your shoulders, making sure your hips are over your shoulders, and making sure the tips of your fingers are white. Now, we've got to work on what progressions we're going to break this down into. The first one is in a pike push-up, rather than just rapping these out all day, I want you to work on intensity and quality over quantity. So, rounding the shoulders, tips of the fingers are white. I come down and see if you can feel that pressure. Honestly, if your head's gonna explode, you're probably doing it right, okay? So if your feet are coming off and your head's about to explode, you're doing good. Eventually, you can move towards getting the feeling of actually getting that lift in your feet, and then we're holding from there, okay? So that's the first progression. Cool, so once you've actually got that lift starting to happen, then you're allowed to progress onto the wall in a chest to wall handstand push-up. So what this looks like is at first, you're probably gonna have to be doing negatives or half reps and eventually work up to full reps. Let me show you what those look like. So coming up to the wall in a handstand, walking up to here. The negative is we come down slowly, aiming to get our feet off the wall. Your forehead goes to the floor, and we use that to bail over to the side. Okay, that's the first one. If that feels comfortable, then we can work on half reps or full reps. Once you've unlocked 3 full reps, then you can move on to the next progression. Let me show you what this looks like. So coming up to the wall, hands nice and wide, fingertips are white, rounding the shoulders. That's 1 rep, 2 reps, 3 reps. Once you've got that all good, then you can move on to the next progression, which is a crow up into a handstand. So to break that down, what we're doing is, remember that cue that we said on cue number 2, get the hips over the shoulders. This is paramount when you're doing this, because if the hips don't go over the shoulders, I can't get up, right? But if I get that feeling of the hips going over, now I can get to that position to now be able to push. Okay, so that's a big part of the whole handstand push-up, and the crow to handstand is arguably the best movement to teach you how to get those hips over your shoulders. So that's all the movements. We've gone through the 3 tips. We've gone through, number 1, making sure that we're rounding the shoulders and pushing through the shoulders, core engaged. Number 2, the tips of the fingers were white, in case we're getting pressure over the thing is. And the third thing is the hips were going over the shoulders. Then we broke down those 3 movements. First off, we looked at the pike push-up, elevating the feet, getting that lift. Number 2, we worked on handstand push-ups, seeing if we get all the way down until we got to 3 reps. And then we worked on the crow to handstand. Now, once you've got 1 or 2 crows to handstands, just try some handstand push-ups. You should be well and strong enough, and if you probably can't do it from there, it's just going to take time on your hands, or you might have to work on your handstand more to feel that balance. Now, if you guys enjoyed this, consider subscribing. It's below. It's completely free. You can see more content coming from us on tutorials, on calisthenics, how to progress and get trained from home, and all of the habits and nutrition, everything around it, all of the secrets that we use here at CaliUnity Gym to then help you guys online completely for free. Even better, if you want a full online community, head to the link below. On there is all the stuff I mentioned, plus you can engage in the community, you can ask us questions, and you can see all the videos on there, again, completely for free. All right? Hope you guys enjoy this. Go smash the handstand push-up.